Alright, so here's the next one. I'm actually gonna talk about two friends here, since there are not much to say about as far as like our friendships are concerned. Now mind you, they're short-lived, okay? So I want to talk about Jeff and Josh Eckathorn. Those are the two friends that I may have the least to talk about in terms of, you know, our short-term friendship and, you know, how they just, you know, did not go so well, right? Let's start with Josh Eckathorn. So I started knowing that he was like the first one that I've known, you know, to have as a friend in high school. That was, you know, my first year in high school. I was a freshman, and I think he was also a freshman because I had him in my English class with Miss No, and I think it was Miss No, and I think I also had him in a PE class, right? So getting to know Josh, I thought he was cool and all, right? But you know, it turns out that, you know, he just wasn't that guy. He just wasn't. I remember, like, he just clearly took advantage of me. All right, like he just like, I remember I would have to buy him like a soda for his supposed 2 birthdays, when at that time I was like a global ass dude and just not knowing what high school life is like, and so I would have assumed that, you know, he was a real friend. Now I went out with him to Knott's Berry Farm one time, and I think we had lunch at this one restaurant in Ghost Town. I remember that was the first time. You know, going out with a friend, with someone else other than my family, to a restaurant. So yeah, I mean, you know, I was that, and you know, after that, it was like, I just feel like he clearly took advantage of me, and, you know, I was like, I remember he asked me for a walkie-talkie on, you know, his birthday, and I forgot when his birthday was, and he, you know, I think I bought him some walkie-talkies, and after that, I think he asked me to, you know, to buy him a soda for his quote-unquote second birthday, which didn't make sense. So that's how I knew that he was just taking advantage of me. So I remember after that, it was like, you know, that he was just not that friend. All he wanted to do is take advantage of me like that. So, but mind you, this was high school. My boss is already considered one of my real friends. I've known him in junior high, and obviously I know he was a nice dude, and still to this day he is a nice dude. So going all the way back and up to now, we're still, you know, best buds, you know. And Josh Eckathorn just was not that guy. And I'm trying to remember if he ever knew a boss, but something told me he did, but I don't know. I just think Josh wasn't that guy. So yeah, I mean I didn't want to, you know, develop my friendship with him in the sense that he took advantage of me like that, but, you know, I really don't have any. I don't possess any hate for him, but it's just that, you know, I just don't think that he was that guy. And the same thing with his brother. I thought at first he was a cool guy, but and it turns out he just wasn't that dude either. And there was one, I remember that one time that I guess quote unquote Chris tried to call him, and in the end it was and he said Faggio, and and then he just started screaming like hell, and I was like, like that. So he just was not that guy. And I remember like years later, like this was after 2012, he was trying to go after me, and he was saying something like, man, this is all your fault for what you did to me, and it was never really my fault for anything. And I think he said he lived in Pico Rivera or something like that. So I just never responded to him after that, because I didn't want to deal with him no more. He was a crazy dude. So yeah, both of them just were not my type of friends. I thought Jerry was that guy, but he seemed to be nicer than his brother. Well, I mean, they're both nice, but I thought Jerry was the nicer one, but nah, he just wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just left them out, and they can live their own lives. You know what I mean? Now let's get to Jeff really quickly. I don't know, man. Jeff, I thought at first, he was he's been in some of my hangouts, even some like with me and Robbie and Julio, but he's also been in some hangouts with just them two, right? But in the end, like, I mean, I thought he was cool and all that. Like, we even did that one trail in Brea, the Carbon Canyon, which is cool and all that. But in the end, something went wrong, and all of a sudden, Jeff just turned against us, and he started accusing us for something that we never did wrong for. You know what I'm saying? That was on him. And well, I mean, this one hangout, like, I wasn't even involved, and I remember, I think it was, him, Robbie, Julio, they were like biking somewhere, I guess, and then next thing that happened was, I guess Jeff accused him of something, and all of a sudden he just treats us like we're we're his enemies and all that, like we did him wrong, and next thing you know, like, I don't know how I got involved with that, and he threw me in the voicemail. Like, for whatever reason, he was gonna call the not the NYP, but he was trying to call like the cops, and like for whatever it was. And I didn't even do nothing wrong, man. I don't know how I got involved. Those guys never did anything wrong, what they told me. So it's like, dude. So look, in the end, I just think Jeff was not that guy. Okay, he just was not. He's like, I mean, he's I mean, I thought at first it was cool to know him and all that, and especially hanging out with him. But in the end, like, he just wasn't that type for me either. So those guys were just not my type, and I think it's only right that I just left them out. And so, like, I mean, this is the same dude, Jeff, and I remember that one conversation that Dewey had, and Jeff got pissed out when he found out. I think he saw that video that I still have up to this day, the one where he where Dewey was talking to him, and make it seemed like he was in a payphone, and after that it was like Jeff found out on the video, and he was in my car this whole time with with robbing Julio, and yeah, Jeff got pissed, but it's just like I said, I don't know what's happening with him now. I don't know if Bobby's still in touch with him. I don't know if Chris is still in touch with him. I mean, he belongs in the past, all right? So it is what it is with those guys. They don't deserve to be, long-term friends, just knowing who they are. And, and I used to collect cans like him, right? But, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they're my friends in the long run. So that's all I got to say. And I have enough friends in my life that I can cherish my memories with, and I know who they are. All right, peace.